Welcome to Capital Region Sunday. I'm Richie Phillips, here with a very, very special guest, Brenna Uline. And Brenda is with the New York chapter of the Tears Foundation. I hope I have that correct.
Yes.
Great. It's great to have you here on Sunday morning.
Thanks for having me.
You know, it's so amazing. What I end up doing for a living is we do a comedy morning show. And then you read something like this of what you're involved with. It's the polar opposite.
Yes.
It really is. It's such a serious issue and such an emotional issue. How did you get involved with the Tears Foundation?
On September 11th of 2010, my son Conrad was stillborn. I wasn't expecting it. I was young. I was 26 and healthy. And turns out I have a autoimmune disorder that I didn't know about and isn't commonly tested for. So it was unexpected. And when we went to start figuring out his final arrangements, we were actually turned away from a funeral home because we were unable to pay. So they wouldn't even come pick my son up.
So that's how this started. I didn't realize it came from that personal of a place with you.
Yep, so that's why we started the New York chapter. The original chapter is from Washington, and Sarah Slack established it after the stillbirth of her son Jesse in 2002. And as it grows, each state takes care of its own state. So I started the New York chapter so that other families wouldn't have to go through that after they've already had a terrible loss.
Boy. And the groups that you work with, what are some of the other groups that you're involved with?
I work a lot with Little Angel Gowns of upstate New York with Carol Ann. They take donated wedding dresses and sew them into infant burial gowns. They're always looking for seamstresses because there's such a huge demand, because sometimes the people are in shock and they won't necessarily hold the baby, which they'll regret later on. And some of the nurses we've spoken to say that sometimes when you bring out the little angel gown and it gives a little bit of normalcy to it, and people are more likely to hold the baby and take the pictures, which they'll cherish forever. And we also work a lot with Michelle Mosca from Angel Names Association. She is very similar to us. She's been around a lot longer. They do the boxes for the families with like memorial items, and they also help stillbirth families with burial and all those expenses. So she can work in a lot more areas outside of the state than I can, so we refer to each other if we have somebody that I get somebody outside of New York State, or she gets somebody that's the baby has lived past birth. So we go back and forth.
Such an important service. You know, as I think about this, it's such a tragedy, obviously, for you and your families. But I've also noticed, I've witnessed a couple of people that have had this exact situation happen to them, and for other people to walk up to them, people don't know what to say to you when something like this happens. It's beyond uncomfortable. You don't know what to say.
I think with me personally and with a lot of people I've spoken to, I know that people are scared to approach a parent that has lost a baby because they don't want to say the wrong thing.
Exactly.
So they tend to say nothing, and it makes us feel really isolated. One of my favorite things is when somebody will say Conrad's name, or will check in. My friends call me, text me, message me, check in on me on his birthday, because a lot of people are worried you're going to get offended. We're already sad about it, and you're not going to make it worse by mentioning their name. It's going to mean a lot to us if you just say their name. That's
interesting, because in my mind, I would think the exact opposite. I wouldn't want to say the name. And if somebody else in the family had a birthday right around that time, I wouldn't want to celebrate the birth. You know,
right.
You go through all those emotions. So it affects everyone, I guess is what I'm saying, everybody in the family.
Exactly, but it's still, I'm lucky I got to have them, and I'm still excited when my friends have babies. I make sure to let them know, like, how excited I am so they don't feel like they can't celebrate it with me.
Right. Well, it shows your strength. You tried to handle it in a positive way. If anybody else wants to get involved in your particular chapter, can they get involved?
Absolutely. We're always looking for volunteers. We do a lot of fundraising events throughout the year. We also do a lot of awareness. We also do, other little programs that we would love to have people participate in. We do a Bereaved Mother's Day every year, the Sunday before Mother's Day, which is free for people to attend, and we do a small ceremony and craft. We do, a rock and walk, and we're always looking for volunteers. They can have my cell phone number, which is on the website, www.thetearsfoundation.org/New York. or they can email me. That's also on there.
That's great. We can also put that on our website as well. And you do have a fundraiser going on, a specific one. Is it like a human foosball tournament, or did that already happen?
Nope, that's October 24th at William H. Buckley Farm on Route 50 in Ballston Lake. It's we've never done it before, but we're very excited. We're making the tables out of hay, rope, and PVC. So we'll have teams of 6. We're doing a blind draw double elimination tournament. So each team will get to play at least twice. It's $100 for a team of 6, and you get T-shirt, lunch, and at least 2 games. The farm has really helped us out a lot with this, so we're very excited about it.
And again, go on the website in order to apply for it?
Yep. There's a button right on there for human foosball, and we're thinking it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Back to serious. Cribs for Kids, helping prevent sleep-related deaths.
Yep, that's a program we got involved with a couple of years ago. We like to, it's kind of morbid, but we like to say it's a lot cheaper for us to get you a crib than a casket.
Yeah.
So we like to encourage safe sleep situations. And so if there's a family that has a baby coming or just had a baby and they can't afford a safe spot for the baby to sleep, we will provide them with a brand new Graco Pack and Play. We cover the cost, and we give them safe sleep materials through the National Cribs for Kids organization. So we give them a quick little talk about, the ABCs of sleep, alone on the back in the crib, and then we give them the Pack and Play, and that way the baby can sleep in the room but not in the bed with the parents.
I've seen some different theories about that, getting a little bit off the subject, but I've seen one theory where you're supposed to put the baby down with no blanket on at all and just let them sleep with no blanket, and then there's the opposite. Which way are they going? What's the trend right now?
What we teach is to only have one more layer of clothing than you as an adult will have, and to try to avoid a blanket if possible, but if it's really awful, to tuck it under the baby's armpits so that it's not going to be a suffocation risk. We discourage crib bumpers and all of that stuff. We say decorate the nursery, not the crib.
I have to have a blanket. I need one right now. It's so cold in this studio.
Yeah, right? And just one more thing about our human foosball tournament. We are really hoping to get some brave souls to come out and show the fathers of loss that we appreciate them and we appreciate what they're going through. We really want to do something to remind people that while the moms oftentimes get recognized for their loss and get assisted through it, the men don't always. And we want to make a point to make this fundraiser about them. Because
men and women do deal with things differently.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yep, society, kind of makes the men, conditioned to be strong. And,
right.
And you don't have to be strong in this community. We're here to support you.
What an important group you started. The New York chapter of the Tears Foundation, and we really thank Brenna Uline for calling in and explaining this, and condolences to you for this even happening in the first place.
Thank you so much for having me and for helping us get out there and let people know that we're available if they need us.
One more time, the website.
www.thetearsfoundation.com/New York, with New York spelled out.
Brenna Uline, thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Actually, Brenna, we have a little time. What the heck? Plug your event one more time.
I'd like to invite you to our first annual Human Foosball Tournament, October 24th, 9 a.m. at William H. Buckley Farm on Route 50 in Ballston Lake. You can register your team of 6 for only $100, including T-shirt, lunch, and 2 games minimum at www.thetearsfoundation.org/New York.